so far for basketball, Matt? Any
Well,
stories?
the Kings have struggled. They started early. There was a lot of speculation that George Karl could be out, and the Kings could bring in the coach from that's at Kentucky right now. But that doesn't look like it's going to happen. The Kings have won 3 in a row. They're playing right now, I believe, against Atlanta. Actually, they lost that game 97-103. The Kings are now 4-8, so that 3-game winning streak comes to an end. And that would be John Calipari, the coach of the Kentucky, the Kings are trying to recruit. But it doesn't look like that. I just couldn't imagine that happening.
I believe DeMarcus Cousins even talked to management of the Kings, Vlade Divac, to actually in support of keeping Karl. But when you look at it, he did have that locker room outburst after that loss, the game he came back. This is a Kings team that won 1 game against LA. They had probably one of the toughest schedules in the NBA to open the season, starting out 1-7, winning 3 straight up until tonight, where they played a very good Hawks team close.
Yeah, this Hawks team was number 1, the number 1 seed last year in the East, I believe.
You know, this Kings team is being way overlooked this year. They've played pretty much everyone close, other than San Antonio, and I believe they lost to Memphis and the Suns by a big margin but they didn't have Cousins that game. And they played Golden State. I was actually attending the Golden State game, and this was a game they were leading late into the fourth quarter without DeMarcus Cousins.
Yeah, I mean, for them to do that without Cousins, I mean, the Warriors are 12-0.
They almost pulled that one off. That's actually going to lead into our next topic. So, Kings winning 3 straight up until tonight. They're actually looking decent moving forward. We should really get into the Warriors. The Warriors, 12-0. A 12-0 start.
Yeah,
Incredible.
They played a phenomenal basketball. Steph Curry is playing out of his mind. They won last night against the Raptors 110-115.
And that was one of Curry's worst games. The 2 worst games he's had has been against the Kings and the Raptors. Other than those 2 games, he's been phenomenal. Just lights out. Do you know what points he's scoring, like his average? I think it's upwards of like 30 points per game.
Yeah, I'm sure it's something like that. They take on the Clippers tomorrow. That should make for a good game. They start playing some tougher teams. They play the Clippers and then against the Bulls. But really, I mean, they have a lot of opportunities. They could be, I mean, they're looking at 17, 18-0 possibly.
Yeah, they've had a decent strength of a schedule to start the year, but this is a team that they're looking like they can pretty much run all the way through to an NBA title this year. They look unstoppable as of now.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, so those are 2 pretty big storylines so far, but who would you say is the most surprising team in the NBA this season?
Most surprising team?
Yep, so far.
Well, that's a tough one. You put me on blast there. Maybe Minnesota. I mean, they're 4-4, but all those young draft picks slowly starting to come together. They have a solid foundation to build upon. How about yourself?
I'm going to go with the Boston Celtics. I'm going to try and check to see if they won today. No, they fell to the Mavericks 106-102, but they are 6-5 as of right now. And look, when you look at this Boston Celtics team, who do they even have? They have Isaiah Thomas. That's one. Who's the other guy that they have? They have David Lee. That's about it.
Kelly Olynyk. I forgot his last name, but
they don't have a lot of people, and yet they're 6-5.
Yeah,
this is a team many people aren't even expecting to. They're expecting to be well in the draft lottery section of the league at the end of the season. You know, but they're hanging with it right now. You know, we could be seeing something like the Sacramento Kings did last year, where they're looking like a playoff contender early and then faded away once Cousins contracted one of those viruses and was out for that significant amount of time. This is a team that looks like they could compete, but it's just surprising to see them 6-5 so early. A team with only a few good players.
Yeah, they made the playoffs last year. if they keep playing good basketball, they'll probably make it in the East. The Eastern Conference, as we all know, not a very good conference. So I wouldn't be surprised to see them make it, sneak in their 8th or 7th seed. You never know, though.
Yeah, you never know with that Eastern Conference. A lot of below 500 teams make it. Let's go to talk about some below 500 teams. Which team do you think has been the biggest disappointment this year?
Biggest disappointment?
So far.
Maybe the Nuggets of 2-4. I thought they'd be better than this. Coach Mike Malone, the former Kings coach, I think.
The Nuggets are 6-6. It says I just checked that.
The Nuggets?
Yeah, 6-6.
Oh wow.
They may have started 2-4, but they're 6-6. They're doing all right.
Oh wow. Then not the Nuggets. Then I don't know who. Who would you say?
I'm gonna go with the New Orleans Pelicans. They dropped a game to the Thunder today, 103-110. They are now 1-11 on the year. Do you think the Pelicans season is pretty much a wash at this point, even though it's early?
No, there's plenty of time, and they have talent. They have Anthony Davis, their key piece there. They have plenty of time. This is a long season. They're going to have all winter to get themselves back on track and regroup. I think they're going to be okay.
I think this is pretty much a wash for the Pelicans. Starting out 1-11, your chances are really, really low on making a run to the playoffs. I just think that Western Conference is way too deep. You have teams like the Kings coming up. The Suns are really good this year. You have the Jazz are even rising. All this West team. This Western Conference is scary. Almost every single one of these teams is decent or really good. Would you agree with that? Talking about
the Western Conference is stacked. I mean, there's all type of talent there. So I don't know. I don't see. I mean, the Warriors look like the biggest front runner, but as far as those last few seeds go, it's going to be close.
Yeah, and when you look at teams like the Kings playing the Hawks close, the Kings are probably, there's a lot of people put them at the lower end of the West, maybe able to sneak in at the 8th seed, and they're playing a team that was second in the Eastern Conference close. The 2nd seed. I mean,
yeah,
exactly. Beating what the Raptors were like the 3rd seed. I'm not sure how the seeding went last year, but I believe it was the Raptors, Cavaliers, and Hawks in the top 3.
Yeah, so the Kings they play those teams tough. Give them credit for it too.
So moving on to games coming up, who do you think is going to be one of the teams to watch moving on? Any teams you expect to be performing a lot better going forward?
I don't have a particular team in mind. How about you?
I think watching going forward, I would say a lot of people should be looking at the
Maybe
Warriors.
Phoenix. Okay.
Warriors, maybe Phoenix. Even the Kings. The Kings still have a tough schedule ahead. They play a lot of their tough teams early, but the Warriors, what they're doing to start the year, it's something to watch. Who knows how many games they'll go before finally losing. What do you think?
Like I said earlier, I think they have an opportunity to go, 18, 19, 0 possibly. So it'll be interesting to see. At this point, I would say they could get there, but it's not going to be easy. It's not easy to win that many games, but if they could do it, if anyone could do it, it surely would be them.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see. I don't think this team will break the Bulls' record for best record, but I think they're going to come close. I think they're going to make a big run towards the title. What do you think?
The Bulls?
No, Warriors. I was just talking about how the Bulls had the record.
Oh. Yeah, I agree. I think that it would be, at this point at least, it looks like they're the clear-cut favorite.
Yep. All right. So I think that's really pretty much all we have to talk about NBA basketball. Would you say that's a wrap?
Yeah, that's a wrap on that for sure.
All right, I'm Ben Pieczynski. This is Matt Kerns. We're going to wrap the show up always. This is the Pieczynski and Kerns show. And look for us to come out with another episode next week, probably around Tuesday and Wednesday. Once again, this is always brought to you by Ben Pie Productions, our home channel. Be sure to subscribe. Anything else to add, Matt, before we call it a show?
No, Ben, thanks for having me.
Thanks for being on the show, Matt. All right, everyone, tune in next Tuesday or Wednesday, and we'll have a next video up for you. This is the Pieczynski and Kerns Sports Show.
Hey, man, I'll call you back. I got to go to the bathroom real bad.
All right.